Oh, guess what? You got lucky. You're here. Hey, you're lucky. You're back. I'm back. I'm still alive. So is my buddy Mike. We'll talk to him in a bit, but guess where you're at? I got a reason for this one. You know how I throw the logo and we break glass? Today we're gonna throw a new one. And you're going, what's the new one? I think I recognize that from Mike's old square. Look at that. Look at it. It's the Shlicketty Newcast. You came on back. Oh my God. And hey, guess what? Wait, is he knocking? Aggro knock. All right. Open the garage door. Let him in. Guess who we got here? Holy macaroons. Look at you, Galaxy Glue. You are Galaxy Gluing back there.
I got upgraded.
We upgraded the studio. Look at Mike's square. Look at those squares.
We got
Hollywood
a budget
squares
of $15. I went fucking nuts in the LED light section on Amazon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that. Uplighting. Oh my God, you got the stars.
I got LED lights for like $1.79. I got a string of 9 billion of them.
Oh, we got to get you more stars though. I think you need more stars, more glitter back there.
Hashtag more stars for Mike.
Yeah. But you guys like the square? Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty cool.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's what we're doing around here. We're upgrading, man. We're in the new studio.
My shit got cinematography.
Yeah, we're in the new studio. I hope,
design.
yeah. So I don't know if the back, everything should be set. If anything's a little off, let us know. But I think we're back to where we were, other than Mike's upgrade right here. You'll like that. We got Chinese waving cat. We got funny dentures.
I'm afraid my square is going to cover up the cat and most of the Orb of Truth, though.
Well, we can make your square a little smaller, couldn't we?
Like, should we consider like moving those to the other side of you, or is that counterproductive?
Well, let's not do it today. Well, maybe we'll see about it tomorrow, or I mean next week. Tomorrow. Yeah. Well, we'll run it by HR. We'll see what they're doing over there in engineering, and we'll mix the xylem with the phloem. But
you know what HR stands for? Hardly reasonable.
Right. Fucking yeah. Human resourcefulness. So yeah, here we are. Oh my gosh! All right, so let's see. What do we got? The new studio. What were we talking about last time? There's something I wanted to upgrade, or I did something last week on the fish water episode, and I wanted to tell you I have an update. Maybe I'll think of it through the course of the show. So we'll move on. We got rants. We got ham it, damn it, or ban it later. We also got a good list, so I want you to stick with us. Because we got a fun list. I came across one. I don't know. It's getting kind of trickier coming up with these new best worst lists. So this is the thing. So we need some ideas down there. But I'm kind of liking the idea of throwing you into the Wayback Machine. So when you're listening, we go, hey, we're gonna, I want it to kind of inspire some kind of, tickle the old memory bank. So.
Oh, can I jump in?
You can.
I was looking at one of our videos.
Which one?
And there was a listener on there that was posting some comments.
Okay.
And he had said something about, he goes, hey Mike, I lived out in Chandler for a while.
Okay.
What's the deal with the weird piss smell out there? I heard it was like the dirt. I heard it was a type of bush. There's a type of bush that the leaves or the buds or something like that, it kind of smells like cat piss.
Oh, okay.
Because I lived in a place. There was like an apartments next door or something like that, and they had like this bush, and you get a waft, and it'd be like, man, it smells like cat piss. Like what the fuck? So
yeah.
So to him, I forgot his name, but I heard it was a certain type of bush.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well, see, there we go. See, we got human interaction.
And I think he also suggested a top 5, bottom 5 list of Saturday morning cartoons.
I know. I saw that one, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking of the list. And before I make a list, I always make like a master list, so then I could go, okay, I'm going to pull that.
Yeah, because we got to make sure we don't repeat ourselves too.
Right. And I try to do that with certain things. Like last week, I was going to go breakfast cereal, but last week I did discontinued cereals because it narrowed the field.
Yeah.
When you got too many to choose from.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can't go too broad because then we shoot ourselves in the foot and we have fewer topics.
Yeah, you can't say like, favorite comic book character.
So it's like,
it's too broad.
So we do Saturday morning cartoons from like when we were kids, but we have what's the angle?
Right. Yeah.
Is it like, most annoying, cartoons from when you were kids, or the
Right.
ones that made the least sense for the setup,
or the worst art, or the whole, bad, anything, yeah. That was another one I was thinking too. I was into the second. I was like, I wanted the best and worst cereal mascots, and then I was thinking like, oh, okay. Then I was thinking like cartoon characters, but not from a entertaining point of view, more from a drawing point of view.
You mean from like a design point of view?
Like a design point of view, how simple they are, how they catch your eye. But then I started making master lists, and it was like 30, 40 deep.
I know.
So I was like,
especially
all right, I
if you're
gotta
pulling from
streamline
like
this shit.
comic strips, animation, Saturday cartoons, after school cartoons, like all like there's a lot, just advertising, mascots.
Right, yeah. It was cereal mascots, and then I was thinking, well,
cereal mascots.
there's all kind. Mascots could go any way, from sports mascots, So you got to streamline. So that was kind of the idea. And plus, if we do streamline, the good thing about that, I went discontinued cereals last time. Maybe next time, next cereal one, I could go. Which cereal was best after the ganja, or what? What's the best stoner cereal, or what's the best? I don't know. What made the best milk and worst milk?
It's kind of like choosing the best microphone, I think, for the stoners with the cereal.
The stoners go, all of them.
The best cereal for the stoner is the one that's close
I'll
at
take
hand.
any of them.
Whichever one's close at hand. Whichever one's within arm's reach.
Right, yeah.
That's the best cereal.
Yeah, the one, I know. I remember eating cereal high. I would mix cereals. I was like, holy crap. I was like, I'm going to put the rest of this alphabet on top of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I still was mixing cereals when I was like, remember when I moved out here, I was saying to you, like, I miss eating cereals. I hadn't eaten cereals in like years. and you were saying that your daughter and her friends were doing like the almond milk or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's a good idea. So I started getting almond milk and doing the shit. And I realized that, the almond milk still sort of jacks me up a little bit. Not as much as like regular cow milk, but,
Well, that put a new spin on it. Yeah, we're doing the vanilla almond milk. But the vanilla takes on a timbre. So all of a sudden it's...
Timbre.
Timbre. Is it timbre? Timbre?
It's spelled timbre, but it's pronounced timbre.
No wonder nobody can speak English. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, the vanilla part was good. So it would take like a lame cereal and make it actually a little better. Like a standard Cheerios with the vanilla milk, all of a sudden was like, this is actually a little nut.
It made the milk a little bit more interesting. Like the milk had a little bit more going on with it, rather than just being like, it's milk, whatever.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Which is how I get with the fucking goddamn the peanut butter where they put the honey in it. I go, it's just like the peanut butter, but it's got a little honey in it.
Ooh. I know. We could get snacks and foods. I could just go all day on the snacks and food. I almost feel like I want to. I thought about doing an alternate pod. Shlicketty Doo Cast presents, and then maybe we could like an Aaron's. I don't know. I was thinking make little 15-minute vignettes. Like last week I did the discontinued cereal. Maybe I could take like OJ's and I could find an old box of OJ's and we'll run the commercial. We'll do this. We'll talk about OJ's and I'll eat a bowl of OJ. I will open them up and see if they're still the same. That kind of thing. Like a product review of something discontinued from the 80s.
I mean, that sounds great. That's the sort of thing that, if you had a bit of a budget and a bit of a schedule, you could do. But I mean, we don't really have anybody waiting on it, so we do have a bit of time. We could do something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk every week like this one. I would talk more every 3 weeks we'll put one out.
What are we going to do? Pay $25, $30 for a 30-year-old box of cereal?
Yeah.
Like I said,
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I saw a guy do that with the Batman cereal.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about in the thing, and it got me thinking. I'm like, man, I should do that. That would be kind of fun. Take the Batman cereal, get a box. We'll eat it at the end, but we'll pour it out. We'll see what it's consistently like. We'll do things with it. We'll run the commercials. We'll show the thing. Do a complete product review. Maybe even read the box. Run it.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's like a mystery, where people find this stuff.
Yeah, I would. There's got to be websites. Everything's on the internet, right?
Because did you watch the? I know what I want to mention. Did you watch the edit of the last episode where we did the cereals on the list?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen it a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, and I threw a bunch of graphics and stuff in there.
Yeah. You did the. Oh, that's what I wanted to update you on. The Grape Fellows.
I was going to say this too.
Okay.
When you look them up online,
It was discontinued in 72.
Oh.
I would have been 1.
Yeah.
How do I remember that? Well, then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, all right.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. I wouldn't have remembered that. How did I eat, at the age of 5 or 6, eat a box of Sir Grape Fellows and remember the glider?
Well, you were born in 71?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you're only a few months older than me.
Yeah.
Like 7 months older than me.
Yeah, even though I was a year ahead of you in school. It's probably just when we were enrolled, you know.
I was supposed to be in that grade with you guys in 89, but my mom held me back a year because Eric wasn't ready for fucking kindergarten when he was 4.
Because Eric's stupid. Yeah, so the Sir Grape Fellow. Here's what I got to thinking about. I'm thinking back in the 70s, I'm having a vision, and I was like, I remember my mom taking me to old grocery stores, and the ones like down on 8th Street, like an old Golden Dawn, or like an old like Loblaws or something, you know, with the brown paneling and the weird old 70s
almost
signs.
like it was like discontinued cereal that was getting sold at markdown.
That's what I'm wondering. If what I remember eating was this box of Sir Grape Fellows could have been on the shelf for, you know,
for like 12 years, and you come across it, you see the picture. Mom, we got to get this.
We got to get the Grape Fellows.
Right.
You know, yeah. Or my brother, I was pretty young. It was something my brother was juiced on, I think, and because he was older. But I remember it coming home, and I was thinking, oh, was it the old Golden Dawn? And we might have got Sir Grape Fellows.
I remember the Golden Dawn.
That was from an old 70, you know, because in the 70s, there was no quality control on anything. I mean, they put additives in the food. Grocery stores probably had cobwebs. They probably had shit on the shelves since 1965. You know, the FDA wasn't even a thing there. So I'm pretty sure that the Grape Fellow memory I have, I don't think it's a false memory. It's just, I think the box of Grape Fellows that I had with the glider was left over for literally 4 or 5 years on the shelf. And by the time I got it, when I was like 7, yeah, and I was like 6 or 7 when I got it, it was probably way old and way you know, no wonder it was terrible. And I remember it tasted terrible, and I'm thinking it was probably stale.
Because the plastic bags back then were not that good. They hadn't figured out how to get a little bit of rubber into the plastics.
Yeah.
So like plastic bags would often get like a little tear, a little hole, and it would be stale as hell. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'd rip super easy. Yeah, okay, so I thought you were going to say, so I brought up a visual on this.
Okay.
I'll show you. I'll throw it in on the edit here.
Okay.
But when I searched the Sir Grape Fellow, I found Sir Grape Fellow Plus.
Oh, there was apparently a strawberry thing, or what a cherry or strawberry?
Baron von Redberry.
Yeah, I don't know Baron von Redberry. I don't remember that one.
It's totally this, you know, World War I. He's got the triple wing Faka, you know,
right,
just like Snoopy and the Red Baron sort of thing. So it's Baron von Redberry.
Weird.
And Sir Grape Fellow.
So if anyone out there who's older than me, if you're older than me,
funny.
next generation, if you ever ate either of those cereals, chime in now, because I need to know. I need facts here.
Yeah.
Because I Googled this, like I said, I Googled Sir Grape Fellows. It was discontinued in 72.
Yeah.
And there's no way I would have remembered something at 1.
Yeah.
So I had to have eaten old cereal.
It had to have been something that was like kicking around because no one's gonna buy Sir Grape Fellow cereal and not eat it.
Yeah, right.
So the only way there's old Sir Grape Fellow kicking around, like you said, it's leftover stock from a store.
Yeah.
Unsold.
Yeah.
I could buy that there would be a lot of unsold Sir Grape Fellow.
Yeah. Do you remember that grocery store? And it's still around. It's on 8th Street down there. Like it used to be by the large line down there on 8th Street. But, you know, there's like by Strong Vincent, there's an old vintagey looking thing. And I want to say it was an old Golden Dawn, you know.
I remember the Golden Dawn from like right over, when I was living on Oakmont Avenue. It was right there on like 12th and Powell.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was 70s. You know, it was funny. I saw also, here's another weird one. Did you know Wegmans? I was looking at 70s pictures of Wegmans grocery stores.
70s pictures of Wegmans.
Well, not
really?
70s, 80s. It was 80s when they came out. I don't know what the date is. Their claim to fame was their bulk section. And they literally had 3 aisles of giant fucking barrels that they would have scoops in. So you'd take your cart and you'd roll down and you go, oh, look, there's some granola oats. Oh, and then they had like everything from dishwashing liquid or dishwashing powder to you know,
yeah, all right,
to peanuts.
So I know this may seem revolutionary to you, but out in Arizona, in Phoenix, my girlfriend shopped at this store called Sprouts.
Okay, I never heard.
Sprouts is like real food, fresh food. They have a very small section of packaged foods, and it's mostly like organic type shit.
Right.
Mostly what they have is shit like that, where it's in barrels, it's in these plastic dispensers, you put a bag underneath it.
Right.
Like whatever.
Yeah,
Like
but I remember
dried
bulk
fruit,
sections. I never did them.
candies, nuts. She get coffee there. This is like by the pound, so I think you stick the bag underneath. You can get nuts, broccoli, celery, produce. The whole grocery store there's only like a couple of, like 3 little shelf areas. And that's for like soda, some canned stuff, you know what I mean?
But it was all bulk.
And remedies. Yeah, it's just all like regular food stuff. Like everywhere.
Yeah, well, what was funny about the Wegmans picture, which is kind of like what you're talking about, they literally, the aisle on one side had like all these nuts and freeze-dried things, and on the other side of the aisle was literally, what do you call it, like powder for detergent, laundry detergent in bulk. It's like the cross-pollination there, it's like, ooh.
But I think that's how a lot of those old-timey general stores were.
Yes.
Back in the old day, the proto hardware store.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember bulk sections. I just don't remember ever getting anything from a bulk section. Do you? Other than what you're talking.
Because you and I grew up in the fucking packaged up 70s, man. Like
and our parents were suburban white normal.
I grew up with like
Let's
packaged
go to the
food seemed
grocery
normal
store.
to me. Like if food didn't come wrapped in plastic, it seemed very odd to me.
And then when you and I lived in that apartment in the early 90s, we were going to save money. We were poor, but we would go to Aldi's. And in those days, Aldi's was not the fresh, Aldi's nowadays is like
so
Whole Foods.
Aldi's is owned by a German company, and I think they bought it a number of years ago, and they've been rehalving the image. They've been dumping a bunch of money into it.
Oh yeah, it's totally organic.
Because back in the day when
totally
we went to
nice.
Aldi's was like, half ripped open pallet, cartons on a pallet.
Yeah.
It was like have at it. It was like bulk, like.
I remember buying a stack of cheese like that for like $1.50, and it'd be like a big Rubik's Cube of cheese.
We get like a big case of macaroni and cheese for like $4.
Yeah, I remember once, and you guys laughing at me. I bought, I want to say it was like $4, and it was like literally a Bandito gun belt thing, like 48 hot dogs individually wrapped, and I slung it over my shoulder like a Bandito, like a Mexican Bandito belt.
Yeah. Oh, remember we did the Salisbury Steak score?
Oh yeah, we get the family Salisbury Steaks.
Yeah,
that was our big jam.
It's like a 10-pack or 12-pack of Salisbury Steaks, and so we're like, group dinner. So I think I made like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, we'd add to the mashed potatoes. We would get a loaf of like the French bread, some stale French bread or something like, or garlic bread, or Texas toast.
Yeah, we were making
Texas
garlic
toast?
bread or something like that, or
Yeah.
You're
I think it was
bread.
Texas toast.
Then we were doing like, I don't know, broccoli or peas or green beans.
Yeah, we were just basically steroiding the family pack of Salisbury steak,
Because we'd each have like 2 or 3 of these Salisbury steaks.
Oh yeah, and the
mashed
gravy
potatoes
was...
and wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had some about a year ago, and they weren't as great as you'd think.
I don't like Salisbury steak at all. It's like the lowest grade hamburger. It's like a cross between a hamburger and a sausage patty from a Mega McMuffin.
Yeah.
Which I don't like either.
And the gravy was kind of strange and sharp. It had like a,
It's supposed to be just like a brown gravy, like a beef gravy, but it's not.
Yeah, it had a metallic taste to it.
It makes you wonder. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, definitely when it was in those TV dinners. The ones in the TV dinner.
Oh,
it always came out tasting kind of burned.
Yeah. And that's when the TV dinners of those ones. Yeah, see, now that's something I would, like the TV dinner would be funny, like I was talking on the podcast. But that you get the Salisbury steak, you cook it in the microwave, you do the 8 minutes that they wanted, poke the holes in, and then the thing of mashed potatoes, one side would literally be steaming hot, the other side had snow in it. So you'd have to pour everything into one thing to get the corn, because the corn would be boiling hot and popping open, and then you had literally ice chunks in your mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I remember the ice chunks in the mashed potatoes, and then the gravy. In order to get the meat hot enough, the gravy would be so burned on the edges that it's not just a dried residue.
Yes, it would. Yep.
It's like,
and it would boil in there, so you'd actually have to use the gravy to boil, to agitate the meat.
Dude, TV dinners are terrible.
Yeah.
They're awful.
When you think about the concept of cooking something with microwaves.
Wait, is that what we were doing? Because I remember, like, when we were little kids, we were putting them in the oven.
Right. Yeah. That made more sense to me.
But still, they
But
came
it
out
took forever.
terrible.
Yeah.
They still came out terrible.
And I felt like it took forever because, yeah.
It did. It was like 45 minutes to cook. After like 15 minutes of preheat. It was like an hour.
Yeah, because the concept of the microwave, when you think about it, it's like, all right, let's put it in the microwave. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they say it's safe. Think about it. It's like literally, I don't want to say X-rays, but it'd be like, all right, you're going to give it some nuclear fucking, and then we're going to eat it.
It's just exciting with water molecules.
It's okay. Well, I don't know.
That's why, like, a lot of times when I put things in the microwave, I got this from Jones's mom. You just put like a little glass dish with some water in it.
Yeah.
In there. Especially if you're doing like, trying to like just heat up some like meat or something like that, like some chicken or something like that. You don't want it to go like rubbery and dry or stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you put just the chicken in there, it's exciting the moisture. So the only moisture in there is moisture in the chicken, which gets excited and turns into steam, and then you get dry chicken. But if you put the little thing of water in there, that water, puts more water in.
So you're making like a little mini rotating sauna.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
you're giving your chicken a sauna. All right.
Well, but it's the difference between big. And also, I'll put it on like 60% power, so it's like powered and then not, and then powered and then not, because otherwise it's just 100% power from the outside trying to cook towards the inside.
Yeah.
But when you do it where it's like getting powered and then not, it kind of gets that little bit of rest period, and then when you hit it up again, it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out as sort of microwave burned or stuff like
True.
that.
I could. Yeah, you can picture it.
Gets more warmed from the inside.
Yeah, it's like when you're laying out in the sun and you go, all right, I got to get some shade. All right, I can go back out in the sun.
Well, yeah. But I find that it just sort of gradually warms it up rather than
microwave. I don't know. That's why I swear by the air fryer. I still think the air fryer is a way better way to go, because you got a heating element and then blowing air. So the heating element isn't like nuclear rays.
Yeah, I still don't. So I've got the toaster oven with the convection, which throws it around.
Did you ever get? Okay, let me ask you this. This is about the 9th episode I've asked you. We've been talking about this since Thanksgiving. Do you have a stove yet?
Earlier than that. It's in October.
Yeah. Was it the Halloween episode we were talking about it?
Yeah.
So do you have a stove?
Well, we got the stove top. The oven doesn't work.
Oh, the oven part does. Okay. All right.
That's why we're using the toaster oven for the oven bits. Like the girlfriend was just baking cookies in the toaster oven.
Right.
Chicken
nuggies.
What did I cook in there? I cooked pizza in there the other day. Yeah. It gets you by, but yeah. Dude called me the other day, and I was on the phone and talking with somebody, having a meeting on some shit, and he left a message, and he was saying stuff like, he's like, I'm gonna get with you, I'm gonna pop over there, because he'd been looking around like, either we need to find a part, we need to find the board, or maybe he was gonna find a different, stove oven that's in, decent shape, like a used one, and we'll swap it out or something like that. You know what I mean? Something.
Oh, like find a parts car?
Sort of, yeah. Swap the whole thing out if it works. You know what I mean? Oh. So I don't know, but then I didn't hear from him. And that was like on like a Saturday or like a Friday. That was like a Friday, last Friday. And I after a couple hours, I called, left a message for him, and said, "Yeah, I got your message. Cool, I'm around all day. Hit me up. Let me know, whatever. Haven't heard anything for days. And then the other day, fucking called, and it goes, this number is a voicemail that's not set up yet. And I'm like, voicemail is not set up yet? I don't know what's going on with that. So.
Yeah, I'm that way too. I've never set up my voicemail.
Well, it's this guy's job.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
an
appliance repair business.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. He was cool last time I talked to him and everything like that. But yeah, it's getting real fucking annoying now.
Yeah.
But I don't have much recourse on anything else. So.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Huh.
I looked on Craigslist the other day for any used stove ovens.
Okay.
One.
No. One. Yeah.
$250 gas. Look good, 5-burner. Like one of those black and silver ones. Look fucking dope. But we don't have gas.
Oh yeah, you would have to get.
I mean, we have gas, but not in the kitchen.
All right, you have to get an electric version, huh?
As far as I know, I don't know. Unless there's a gas hookup back there or something like that. I mean, we have gas coming in. The whole heater's gas.
Yeah.
And the hot water heater. You know?
Yeah, but then you got to pay somebody to do all that. Yeah. In a perfect world, you'd like to get an electric stove, pull the old one out, slide the new one in, plug it in, and say, "Let's make some Dino Nuggies."
Yeah, Dino Nuggies. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the saga continues with that. We shall see. I've just been busy, like all day today. All fucking morning was dealing with unemployment stuff, and they signed me up for
about
this,
the job search.
for this fucking, like all of a sudden they're like you got selected and you're signed up with this RE-C program where it's a job training, thing. Like you have to do it. I'm like, all right, so that's what I gotta do now. So I had to meet with the guy this morning, talk to him on the phone, and
What, like a job training thing?
yeah, it's like a job training thing, but there's not much going on with it. Basically what he was kind of getting mad at my ass about, like I'm a fucking idiot about things. Like, it was kind of demeaning. Like, actually, all day, I kind of feel like I did something bad.
Huh. Was he one of those guys that goes, "Well, we'll send you down to, if you need to use our printer to make a resume, I can walk you through it." And it's like,
Well,
dude, I'm way beyond that.
It's like this. The unemployment, they want you to get off unemployment. So they have this PA career link, which is to help you get jobs and job training shit. They have the same sort of thing out in Arizona, right? So they want you to get signed up with that thing. Okay, fine. So I did it in Arizona, so I go and sign up with the career link thing here. I figure it's something to help, because every time I've had to call in like several times to talk to people at the unemployment office. And they say, this time of year is super busy. Seasonal workers. They work, they get laid off. They work, they get laid off all the time. For those sort of people, this job retraining, this sort of stuff, okay. Most of the time, I do the job searching on my own. The ZipRecruiter, the Indeed, that sort of stuff. I'm not really going through their thing. Right. So they're like, you got to sign up for it. So I sign up for it, but I don't do anything with it. So then so when I sign up for the career link thing, they're like, oh, fill out this, fill out that, work history and blah, 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 because they want to be like Indeed, where Indeed wants all your info. So they could be like, we'll match you with jobs looking for you. And it's like, dude, if there were jobs looking for me, I would have found them already.
I know. Yeah, and half of those are like bots. They're just like fucking bots that want your fucking information. They'll say, oh, $25 to sign up, and then they got your information.
Yeah. Because as soon as you give them any of your information, next thing you know, you're getting 3 times as much spam and garbage and crap.
Yeah.
So when I'm on signing up for the career link, it's the same thing over there, where they want all this info and all this sort of the resume, blah, blah, blah. And so I just sort of pencil whipped it all. You know what I mean? So for work history, I just put my most recent job and moved on with my life.
Yeah.
So the guy today, it's like he's all mad at me. He's like, your work history's only got 1 job. And I'm like, yeah, I just put down the most recent thing. And he's like, well, that's not going to fly. You need to fill that out more. And I'm like, so like, I wasn't really, worrying about it. And he's like, well, people don't know what you've been doing. Like, what have you been doing? You've been working the whole time? And it was like he was getting on my ass about shit, And it was sort of like, I don't need attitude from you.
Yeah, it'd be like, none of your business, fuckface.
Yeah, I know.
And what are you supposed to do? Fill out, I when I was 19, I worked for the, janitor Jim.
He's real demeaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a help at all.
No. Anyway, I got jobs on there going back to like 2001. So I think 25 years of job history may be enough, kid. Settle down, fucking kid.
Yeah, I would have thought. Yeah, I would have
been working longer than that fuck's been alive.
yeah. You're like, that's what I'm saying. They should just. You should just. What have you been up to the past? I don't know, 10 years or anything beyond that?
I did. I went back to the Wells Fargo jobs at like 2001.
Yeah.
So
that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's just so. I know they want to get you. His job is to get you off unemployment. And get you into the workforce and working and building that confidence up, sir. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, it's a bunch of crap. The job search is so demeaning for me. It's awful.
Yeah.
Because I'm like in between stuff to where it's like, I don't really have any specific qualifications for fucking anything. But yet I can do a lot of stuff, but People, like, it's like, I don't know. Probably if you have long hair, they don't give you management positions.
Well, no.
That sort of thing,
Well,
you know. But also, like, I haven't gone for any of that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? You and I have been sort of on the same sort of career-y sort of trajectory, where we get day jobs to make the money so that we can do what we want to fucking do.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like a means to an end.
Yeah.
You know? But the trick is to try and get it in somewhere, at least in the ballpark, of something that sort of goes with our sensibilities.
yes.
You know, you spent years on the stupid phones, doing nothing useful on the phones or whatever. And then, I don't know if you did anything else, but you got into where you're doing the graphic design now, which works well because you got to
Yeah, I've been there 20 years.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And like I got into my job that I had was actual videography, which is what I actually fucking wanted to be doing, and it was fucking great to have a job doing that. And rather than working for like an insurance company or a bank, just, you know, endless paperwork stuff, working claims, working files, whatever the fuck it is, endlessly, you know. It's never done. You never feel like you accomplished anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these sort of jobs, which I find, I used to think would be fine, you know, like great, let me just punch in and go to the cubicle every day and just have that cushy job and just be on autopilot. But the thing
be
is,
a number. Yeah, there was almost like, let me just be a number and stay off my back. But then you realize, you go, wait a minute, I'm a worker ant. I'm a drone. These people don't care about me.
Right.
You know? And then you go, all right, well, what do I want? Do I want to be a worker drone, or do I want to be appreciated as a good human?
That's it. Then you start saying, what am I getting out of this? And that's like, yeah, I'm sitting here 5 years, 10 years, 15 years doing the same fucking thing in the same fucking place.
Yeah.
And I guess it's there are a lot of people that work there doing that job that, like, if you got like family and shit, you know what I mean? Like, this is your job. You come, you do your little job, and then you get the family, you do the thing, and then you know?
Yeah.
Whereas us being creative types, you know, it's like, yeah, we got other things going on outside the thing, but
I
end up
when it
phoning
turns
in
5,
those
I
jobs.
can't stay in my job after 5, you know?
no, I can't stand it.
Yeah, and I don't want a job that will call me on the phone after 5.
No, and that's the thing. We always tried to, like, it was like, I remember, like, in high school, your whole thing was you didn't want homework because you didn't want to have to take books home.
No, yeah, that's what I said. They already got 8 hours of my day, you know, and it's
Right.
fine. It's cool. I'm there, and I'll do as best I can. It's just I am not, short of detention, I am not going to do one stitch of work outside of this establishment.
And I was the exact same way as you, but I went about it a different way. I just made sure that I got all my homework done before I left school that day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I ended up doing that as best I could. But there was times when it was like, all right, I got the big project. I got to write a big book report on Great Gatsby. And I'd be like, all right, I read Gatsby, but I didn't do the book report. All right, well, maybe I'll just get myself detention and do it in detention. So then, I'll throw a spitwad, get detention, you know, and then do it there. But I would never, you know, but I would never, there's never me at home at 9 o'clock at night writing a Great Gatsby.
That was me all the time. That was every fucking Sunday night that I had something to do on a Monday. Dude, I was up watching 120 minutes from midnight to 2 a.m. almost every Sunday.
Yeah.
That's how I first saw Nirvana. So it was like Teen Spirit on that. I remember I was fucking typing up an old fucking report on the old Apple IIe.
Oh, I
monochrome
never did.
monitor.
No, and that's where I got in a lot of trouble and lost a lot of grades because I didn't do it. If I would have gone the extra mile, just done a little bit of homework, just maybe about 30% more homework, I probably would have came across a little better. But I was kind of stubborn.
Because you were in a grade above me, so it's not like we had classes together. I have no idea what you were even doing in class. Were you even paying attention in class, or?
Yeah, I did my thing. Yeah, but I kind of faked dumb. I played dumb. So then that way, I kind of stacked the books to where I'd be like, all right, I'm going to take basic math, basic English. You know, I did the bare minimum classes, and I could pass them with flying colors. But then I knew, all right, well, if I'm not going to do any homework, I'm going to get chiseled down a couple grades. So I'm just going to do it, you know, but I would play dumb.
So you were aiming for that C.
You're right. And my mom always said, I'd rather you be a good C student than struggling to be an A. So I was like, oh, really? Okay, I can work with that.
Man.
So I'd half-ass the C. Whereas, you know, remember the teacher would say, if you'd only apply yourself, you could do really great things. And I would think, she's probably right. Yeah, she's right. I didn't apply my, but I was also a stoner. I was going to be a rock. In my mind, I was going to move to LA, play bass in a metal band.
Yeah, but to be fair, just for the record, when you were 15, you guys were playing out 4 hours, 3 sets a night, like 3 or 4 nights a week.
Well, I wasn't 15 then. It was about, it was my 11th to 12th grade.
Maybe
school,
when I was 15, when you guys were.
I was 16. So it was,
Yeah, you guys were playing out 3-4 nights a week, like every
11th
week.
and 12th grade. Yes,
Yeah, you guys
we
would
were
do
playing
the Erie
bars.
thing, and then you guys would do a weekend out of town. Because I was roadieing for you guys, because
Yeah.
you and Jones are like, my best friends, and so it was like on a Friday and Saturday night, you guys are out doing gigs. What am I gonna do? Sit at home with my parents watching HBO? I'm like,
we did gigs, and then occasionally all right, we got something in Cleveland on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I couldn't do those. But I'd go with you for like the Dr. Feelgoods and Conneaut, or even the fucking Hotel Evergreen gigs out in Edinburgh.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were. So I kind of had a job. That was kind of my job, and
it was.
And
because at the time, like, were there times like, I was gonna be like, yeah, because we go early, because you guys were playing all night.
Yeah.
So we'd roll in there like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
And set up. You guys would do sound check, and then we'd fuck off for 3-4 hours. You know?
Go out and play hacky sack, go get high. Yeah, that was a thing, and teachers. Now this is late '80s, early '90s, late '80s. So teachers in those days had a different curriculum, and they knew I was not only a ridiculously good artist, so they'd put me in an art major class, and they knew I was playing in a band. So they're not going to pile on Great Gatsby, English, trigonometry and all the kinds of weird stuff. There's no trigonometry about it. They were like, give Aaron 3 art classes in the beginning because we know he's going to come in a little late. And, so they kind of fixed it for me, and they knew I was half-assing it. They knew, but everyone was kind of cool about it. It was weird. The teachers had a thing where it was, I think those were the years where teachers were like, find your strength and add to your child's strength.
Well,
my strength was drawing and art.
I specifically had a conversation with a teacher one time about a fellow student in my class, and he was sending that student outside in the hall often because he was being disruptive to class. And class was like, I don't know, 8th grade science class where you're doing the kingdom and the phylum and the.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And so, which is kind of boring if you're not into it and you don't get it. And so he was always sending him out to the hall. And so I said to the teacher, I go, aren't you concerned that he's missing out on his science education? And he goes, well, I had his brother 2 years ago, and their father owns a construction company, so I don't think he's going to end up in a laboratory.
All right.
It was like this sort of pragmatic, practical approach to teaching the kids.
Yeah, he's going to be running with the wolves, so we'll just put him out in the back.
Yeah. He's not going to be trained.
He's going to be a landscaper. He's not going to be.
He's not going to be working hard to get into an Ivy League school or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing okay on time.
All right.
All
right.
We're
just rambling. We're just freewheeling here.
Yeah, we're having fun. That's that's why you're hanging out with us, guys. It's the Shlicketty Newcats. It's called a hang. You're supposed to hang with 2 guys. I got a little mini rant before we go into it. I have a new rant.
Paper?
Well, this one I've been wanting to rant about. So, people who know me knows Aaron likes a good little scratch off every now and then. I'm a little gambler, but I've had to cool off on the gambling because got a little out of control. But I like a good.
Wait. We should chat about that. I'm not sure I know about all that.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say. But
all right, rant on.
It was a scratch off. I was going.
I want to circle back to this though.
All right, I got into scratch offs. Gambling addiction is a real thing. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm like betting on sports teams or nothing. No, I just like a good scratch off. I get a couple $20. I get
Wait
$6.
So you're saying gambling addiction is scratch offs?
Yeah. It sounds funny. You get that way. I get the fever. I know the fever. I get the gambling fever.
What do you like? I got to get to the Circle K before the.
Yeah, or you get like 3 $20 cards in a row. I'm like 60 in, and I'm like, all right. Well, I know. I look at the back and go, 1 in 4 wins, and I've got 3, and I didn't win on any 3 of these. I'm going back in for the 4th.
All that terminology you say. Out in Arizona, they had the lottery, and they had a little character for the lottery, Windfall Willie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got like a little groundhog guy.
For the radio ads. Oh, is that it?
Yeah, we have a groundhog dude, yeah.
See, I never paid attention to that
Keep
stuff.
on scratching.
I never really did that stuff. I remember.
Yeah,
like,
you weren't a gambler.
No, and I know. Well. So this was where I was going to circle back to, because I remember when you were doing that side gig where it was Terry Wood's country band.
Oh, right.
And you guys were doing gigs, and you do gigs up at the casino.
Oh, yeah.
And you tell me sometimes you do gigs at the casino, and you get done at like 2 a.m. You pack up. It's like 3:30 in the morning. There's no one around. Nothing's going on. Believe me, because I was doing those. I would do like overnight gigs at casinos, like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In the Indian reservations down there.
Yeah,
in
the
Phoenix.
casino. Yeah.
And
we were making good coin then.
Yeah, and like there's nothing out there for miles. It's just nothing but desert, and it's like holy shit. And so you would get done with the gig. You don't have anywhere to be. No one's looking for you.
Yeah.
You're there in the casino, and so you wander over and you do some penny slot action.
Yeah, which when you say nickel slots, you go, oh, that's not a lot of money. Well, actually it is, because it's a nickel for one way. So 5, 10, 50, 20, so it's basically $1 a pull.
Okay.
On a nickel slot, So, if I'm
I'm
going to go $40 in, I'm going $40, you can lose $40 in, 2 minutes.
Right.
So there's times when I'd be a couple hundred down, But then there's times I was a couple thousand up,
Yeah, and I only had experience one time with betting in the Vegas, and it was with the slots, and it was, I was up there for Rome's wedding. My friend, remember Rebecca Speck?
Yeah.
Her dad and his new wife and this whole group, they were from like Warren, had gone out there on a thing. And so she's up in Salt Lake City, where she's at, and so she was going to go down and fucking visit with her dad and his new wife and shit. And it was like the day before I was going to get into town for Rome's wedding. So she's like, come out a day early. I'm like, okay, cool. So I moved it up a day early.
You're in Vegas.
Went out to Vegas, hung out with her. So her dad and his new wife, they come in with this tour group, and they're over at, I don't know what the hell it is, MGM or whatever. And she hit for $5,000 before they even checked in.
Wow, that's a good win, yeah.
So they're like, paid for the whole weekend, we don't give a fuck, everything's on a ride. They didn't care about nothing.
Yeah.
So her dad and his new wife were sitting there with these giant buckets full of the fucking coins, doing $3 a pull slots with the progressive jackpot.
Yeah.
Hammering these machines. And so we're hanging out talking to him. And then she starts handing us, don't just stand there, start pulling. Because every pull's adding to the progressive jackpot. She's like, we're hitting this. It was like 17,000 or 17
They didn't
million.
hit it, did they?
Yeah, it was nuts. I don't aware. But so she handed us a thing of fucking coins. So now I'm sitting over there doing $3 a pull.
Yeah.
Thing. And like you were saying, it gets to where you're losing, and you're down a lot.
Yeah, your stomach drops a little bit, but then you go, wait a minute. If I think mathematically, I've lost so many times here.
I have to win. Yeah,
I have to win. The odds will tell me that I'm going to win.
And if you got enough temerity to push through, you keep losing, because it'll be like you're down like $300-400, and you're thinking, oh my God, that's like rent, Back in the day, this is like 20 years ago. and then you're like, oh fuck, I'm down $350, $400, I'm down $425, and then you hit for like $850, and now you're up.
Yeah,
now you're up $250.
Yeah, and that's usually what I'll do. And then I go in deep, then I win it back plus then some.
Right.
But then here's where the fever gets.
That's the thing is, that's where you got to stop.
Like, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, got to know when to walk away, you got to know when to run.
Because I found it's like
gambler.
You're down, and then it folds over, and you hit, and you make it all back plus a little bit, like you're up 150.
That's when you got to walk.
Walk.
You have to walk.
It's only going to happen once per night.
Kenny Rogers was right. You got to know when to walk away, you got to know when to run.
Run.
Here's the problem. When you got the lottery fever, like I have, I know it. This is where I know I have impulse control.
The next one could be a winner. Next one could be a winner.
I always take that little bit of profit and I go, now I'll pocket. Okay, I'm going to pocket where I broke. Okay, now I got 150 to play with. Then I start fucking around with that 150, and then I lose it.
Pocket that 400, and if you fuck around with that 150, you still got that 400
right.
in your pocket.
And I always lose the 150. More times than not have I lost on the thing. So
but that's fine.
I'm
as long as you pocketed that 400, You can play with that 150, and if you lose it, every time that happens, you say to yourself, see, it's not smart to keep pushing, you know? Yeah.
Well, this goes into my rant, so there I am. I like a good scratcher every now and then. More times than not, these people, there's these old ladies, they're like old ladies or housewives, and
At the Wegmans?
anywhere you
At
find
the
a lottery
Wegmans,
machine.
right? They got the dispensers right there when you're walking.
They're like
There's
a giant
always like
vending
old
machine.
people standing there like zombies.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you're waiting like 3 people deep, and here's this one lady that comes in and she goes, "Okay," and she acts like she doesn't know what she's doing, but you know she does.
Oh, this is like the Circle K.
Yeah, she'll take her winning lottery ticket and go, "Oh, I won $20. Let me just get," and then her 2 tickets come out, and you think, "Okay, it's my turn next." She proceeds to not move out of the way, pulls her ticket out, takes her coin out, and starts rubbing.
Yeah.
And she's filling out the thing and goes, I didn't win. Doot. Check it. No winner. Okay, well, let me get money on it. So she's sitting there playing lottery runs. Well, we're 3 and 4 people deep behind.
That used to make me nuts.
I was like,
when I was just like
spaz.
popping into the Circle K to grab cigarettes or something like that, and the people with the lottery ticket, like they actually started putting the lottery ticket shit off to the side in its own section of the counter.
Oh, yeah. That or the lady or the dude that's in there goes, I'll take 1037 squared box on a Tuesday night. And what's my daughter's birthday? March 24th. You know, and then they explain to you their number rationale. Oh, I like March, so I'm going to go 4, 3. No, I'll go 3 for March. I got 3 dogs. I'll go 3, 3. You know.
See, I go 3 because.
I'm behind him like steam coming out my ears. Like I'm gonna get this guy in a headlock.
People are great.
Because then he's fucking around. My gambling addiction's tickling my nerve, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to work here, man. I'm already 10 minutes late. Come on, let's go, Charlie. So yeah, there's my big pet peeve, the lottery line peeve.
The inconsiderateness of the low-level gambler.
Oh, exactly. They get the fever, and they scratch off when they're standing in line. What kind of shit's that?
Go to the back.
All right, we got a quick list here we're going to do today. Speaking of machines.
What about Ham It, Damn It, or Ban It?
You got one?
Do I got one? I could probably come up with something.
If you want it, or we can wait till next week. We could double it up next week. We didn't do it last week. We didn't do a Ham It, Damn It, or Ban It.
Well, it's not every time.
Yeah. How about I lay one on you? Ham It, Damn It, or Ban It? The pistachio.
Like the nut?
The nut. The pistachio. Ham it, damn it, or ban it. Do you eat pistachios?
I think I have. They're kind of tasty, right?
Oh, they're tasty, but boy, getting into that little shell.
Oh, yeah, they're the ones with that little hard shell, right?
Yeah, and you got to pry it open. I would have to say the shell is such a nonsense. Now, pistachios are expensive.
All the nuts are. My girlfriend loves the cashews.
Yeah. Yeah, they're expensive. But I will say the pistachio is the tastiest nut of them all.
They're pretty tasty.
Yeah, they are. But you can buy pistachios that are already pre-pulled out of the shell.
Oh, they're probably super expensive.
Oh, yeah. A normal average bag is probably like $12, $13.
All right, I guess I'm coming down on damn it then.
You're going to damn it.
It's annoying. It's got downsides, but you know, it's got some upsides
yeah,
too.
Be like, all right, you're flavorful nut.
Yeah.
Damn it. I'll buy you.
It's like that's what I'd say. Like if I'm at something, and they got like some nuts there, they got some pistachios, and I got some time, and then they're nobody's paying attention to me. I can grab a couple of them and fucking pull them apart and get a couple of nuts out and fucking eat them, and they're gonna be so goddamn tasty. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna deal with more of the fucking nuts.
Yeah. All right. I'll grab a handful. Throw them in
but they're so tasty, I can't stop.
I know. One time I bought some pistachios with the shells on them, and then I was like, all right. And I was at a red light in my car, and I was like, all right, I'll grab one. Oh, that was good. So I'm driving down the road, then I keep going, and then you're trying to break nuts when you're driving. You know, and nut flakes are all over everything. It was dangerous and scary.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go back to the machine. Now, okay, I'm gonna lay a little way back scenario on you, Mike. Here's the list. Little scenario. Okay, You're with your mom. You're with dad. Let's say you're with mom. You're like, Mom, we're leaving. We're leaving the grocery store, or we're leaving the mall. And you go, I want something to drink for the ride home. And you pass the soda machines, the pop machines. All right, the liquids out of the machines. What were the best liquid? Now a liquid out of a machine. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, let's go to McDonald's and use no, I'm talking the can, to go. You go, hey, Mom, you got any change? Can I get a quarter out of your purse? Give me a quarter, 50 cents. I'm going to the machine over here. I'm going to get something to drink.
When we were kids in the 70s, life was so boring and dull.
Yeah.
That a fucking soda machine was like a video game to us.
Yes, the sound of it, the coldness of it,
the lights, the colors,
the heaviness of it,
yeah,
the durability.
Like if you're going into a store and there's like, oh, there's a soda machine, I gotta get one. Like you gotta get one.
Yeah, and you say, wow, and there's like 8 things there. You go, oh my god, I like that. I don't like that. All right, so here's our list: the best and worst liquids out of the machines, 70s, 80s style, 70s style.
Okay, and so we're not counting Japanese vending machines.
Yeah, we don't want to go new stuff because nowadays they got water, they've got energy drink, they got all kinds of bullshit nowadays. 90s they had too many weird things.
In Japan they put all sorts of shit in the vending machines.
Oh God,
yeah. They put like PlayStation,
ice cream.
Yeah,
sandwiches, kittens,
sex toys.
Yeah, I'm just talking like all right. So your best. You want to go best or worst?
We go best. I want to see where you're going with this.
All right, the best. Well, we'll start from the back. Now, when I was a kid, I liked here number 5. I got down the Gatorade. The Gatorade was always a good, solid choice because you got to think of the Gatorade was in the bottle. Like everything was in a can, but there was always the one square at the end. You go, I got the Gatorade because it would come out in the bottle.
That's true, and there was something to be said for us. Being guys at band practice and stuff, especially the bass players, having resealable drinks was definitely a plus.
Yeah.
Because shit will vibrate right the fuck off that fucking cabinet and the floor.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
So having a resealable,
Yeah, there wasn't in the 70s times, there wasn't too many things with the top,
I think more like in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, because it was either 2 liters, big 2 liters, which were at home on the shelf.
Yeah.
Or cans. The in-between market wasn't really a thing. So the Gatorade was a good score. And the Gatorade was a good score in the sense that if it got a little warm, no harm, no foul. Now, okay, we'll go number 4. Number 4, here's a good button we liked. Hey, Mom, I want one of those. Which was the Dr. Pepper. You got to go the steam it. Right. Or if it was a Mr. Pibb. I'm not afraid of the Mr. Pibb.
No, those were, we'd be like on vacation down south and you come across a soda vending machine and, it's got like some of the weird arcane stuff like a Mr. Pibb in it. And
an RC cola.
Yeah.
You go, ooh, okay.
We're RC country.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mr. Pibb wasn't bad, but you got to admit the Dr. Pepper is a flavor that cannot be replicated, and they've tried it. It's the Dr. Pepper is a weird, solid flavor. It's strange. It's an odd one, but unreplicatable.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole bunch of flavors altogether.
Now here's one. This didn't come until later on, but we were well into our Stony days. Once again, the screw top lid, the Snapple.
Right. I was gonna say, oh my God. Oh Jesus.
Oh, fish water.
His fucking ice cubes.
Yeah, his ice cubes smell like fish. Yeah, watch last week's episode, Fish Water.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah, it smelled. You had me smell it earlier. It smelled like cat breath.
It's fucking awful.
So number 3, the Snapple. And bonus, you got the Apple Snapple fact, which was always fun discussion when you're high in the car. Okay, me and the buddy. Look at it, you flip it over. Hey, did you know 10,000?
I never got a lot of Snapples.
No? Yeah, Snapple was kind of a thing. We had a Snapple machine near our work, so we always kind of like, all right.
They seemed a little overpriced,
They were, because those ones were ones where it'd be like $1.25. And in those days, you'd have to put $1 in, and then you go, oh man, I need a quarter for that. Oh, this is really pulling.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Which, back in those days, $1.25 would be the equivalent of like $4 now. Yeah, $1.25 was kind of a thing. Yeah. All right, now number 2, I don't know if you're a Coke or Pepsi guy, but you got to go to the cola from the can. Now, coming out of the machine,
I've been on a Coke jag lately.
I thought the Coke too. The Pepsi might have been better with a meal, but I'd say standalone, the frosty Coke, classic Coke can, steaming.
Well,
Steaming
like
from
I told
the
you
cold.
before, I hate drinking out of a can. Beer, soda, it makes me so burpy that it's just, it really makes me not feel well at all. But what I do, same thing I do with the beer, I do with the Coke. You get like 6, 8, 10 ice cubes, just a glass full of ice, and then you pour that shit in it, let it sit for like 15, 20 minutes while you're eating, and then you drink it. Oh.
Yeah, let those bubbles get all nice and agitated.
Man, it's so tasty. I get these like 2 liters of fucking Coke, and like a glass
Yeah,
like
I don't do
this
the
and
cola
fill it
and
with
shit like
ice.
that anymore. You're still on that. I'm not.
No, I haven't been for a long time, but I've been allowing it for myself recently. I probably shouldn't. I'll probably knock it off pretty quick here, but
Yeah, I find them syrupy and very extra sugary that I'm not a big fan of anymore.
It is
But
like
back in the day, yes.
earlier today I had like a big glass of Coke from like breakfast or something like that, and yeah, it got to the point where I was drinking it. It was like I felt so nauseous.
Yeah.
Like sugar.
Yeah, just
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
it's a bit much. But generally, because I put so much ice in it and shit, and you let it sit there for like 20, 25 minutes or whatever, it gets a little bit watered down.
Yeah. So the classic Coke, that almost made #1, the classic Coke, because everyone likes a nice frosty classic Coke, you know. Even when we're jean jacket guys and we're stoners, we're like, hey, pull over here. We're a little baked. Pull over the car.
I love a
see a
cola.
Coke machine.
I love a cola. I've gone through phases where it was all about Coke, and then I get sick of the Coke, and then I was all about the Pepsi. And I was even down to I even did the RC for a while. I was buying 12 packs of RC.
Yeah. My
And then-
parents bought RC, and I never liked it.
I ended up settling on, I just like the fucking store generic brand. Like out in Arizona, they had Big K, which was Kroger.
Yeah.
Their cola. I liked their cola. I thought it was fucking tasty.
Yeah, my brother swears by the Wegmans brands,
Right,
I like the
same thing.
Wegmans ginger ale. I'm a big fan of the Wegmans ginger ale.
I was on a ginger ale kick for a while there. Do you
Yeah,
remember
I
that?
go through ups and downs. Yeah. Through my life, ginger ale's always been a constant for me.
Yeah, because when you got me on the vodka drinks, I was mixing it with the ginger ale, which
Cranberry vodka and ginger ale.
yeah, and ginger ale, which was tasty. But you were right. Like after a while, there was so much sugar in the ginger ale that it was sort of making me sick from all the sugar.
I
And
was
you're
getting
like,
the ginger ale seltzer.
Yeah, you're like, just do the seltzer. And then I was doing that for a while. But, the thing I found is the fucking juices fuck me up. I like juices, but they fuck me up. Even the cranberry juice, it just makes my stomach really not feel good.
Yeah.
So I really haven't, I got 2 fucking big things of vodka. I barely touch them.
Yeah, you haven't been drinking the VOD lately. Yeah,
No,
I haven't drank in years, so I don't know.
Well, like I got that Coke. I said to the girlfriend the other day, I'm like, can I put vodka in Coke? And she's like, you could, but I don't know how good it's going to be,
I mean, generally people do like rum and Coke, but I would think a rum
That's
and
what she
Coke, but
said.
that seems super sugary.
That's what I said.
Why wouldn't you just go vodka
I'm like,
and cut
'cause
it?
the rum's all sugar and shit,
Yeah.
Right, whatever.
Yeah, why wouldn't you go? Yeah, I would think vodka and Coke would make more sense to me, but
Right?
it's not very popular.
'Cause-
Why didn't it catch on?
Because the vodka's got no real taste. So
No,
if you put it in the
it's
Coke,
it's just the alcohol,
Just
yeah.
a little bit of kick to a Coke. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Yeah, it's just adding octane.
I'm just a dumb unemployed guy.
Now here's the machine that I found #1. I had to put it #1 because it's different from all the machines. You're walking out of the mall, you go, Mom, you're walking out of Hills or we're walking out of Kmart.
Hills.
Hills. And out of Hills, you go, I gotta get one for the road. The slush puppy or the icy machine.
Well, that's a whole different thing.
That's a machine though.
It's not a vending machine.
It's not a vending machine? Huh?
No, that's a dispenser.
Yeah, I should have put dispenser.
Yeah, because that's almost akin to like where Dr. Pepper and the soft drinks got started, which was in the old apothecary, the old chemist store,
Yeah, they would.
and they had the soda fountain.
Yeah.
Because that's what Dr. Pepper was. So these soda fountains would have like 23 different flavors. And so they went, like these syrups. They would, a couple of squirts of syrup. It's like they make the fountain drinks at fucking, at Burger King and McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
It's the bag of syrup, and then it gets mixed with the carbonated seltzer water.
Yeah, which is basically a snow cone. It was kind of like the concept of a snow cone, only they would just add a little bit more.
Yeah, just without the ice.
All right, well, if I say, here's one from the 80s, which was on my honorable mention, but I guess it's got to go. Yeah. Do you remember, I remember getting the old High C, but this was an 80s thing. This was later when Ghostbusters came out. High C, the ectoplasm.
Yeah.
We love the ectoplasm. Oh, that was the best fucking juice of them all.
What was the flavor of the ecto? I know it was green.
It was green.
Yeah.
I want to. In my head, I was thinking it was green apple, but I don't know what it was. It was just kind of probably whatever fruity.
Here's my whole rant on the green thing. When I was a kid, my favorite flavor was the lime.
Oh, you like the lime?
Yeah, like Lifesavers or fruit stripe gum, shit like that. The green was always lime. You get the lemon and the lime. I always love lemon lime. 7-Up, Sprite, that sort of shit. So the green was always lime. At a certain point in the mid '80s, it became sour apple.
Oh,
I
prefer the sour apple.
I didn't okay it. No. I didn't vote on it.
You're right, in liquid form. Because the sour
happened.
apple was popular because the Jolly Rancher was incredible.
Was that it? Was it the Jolly Rancher that brought in the sour apple for the green?
The kids were all, we all loved the Jolly Rancher.
Starburst used to be the cherry, the lemon, the lime, the orange. Then all of a sudden, it's like watermelon or sour apple is the green. You know what I mean?
Yes. It had a good run, and I think maybe the green.
Good run.
Yeah, the sour apple.
Your days are over.
Yeah, the sour apple and the now and later. Remember the sour apple now and laters were like.
Wait, which were the now and laters? Oh, they were sort of like
a square taffy.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah, kind of like a petrified version of a Starburst. Yeah, it was petrified Starburst. Yeah. Well, here we go.
Okay.
All right. It's funny you mentioned the old lime because we're going to the worst list. I found the worst. Sprite and 7-Up stinks.
Oh, fuck you.
They stink.
Fuck you. Blow it out your ass. They're awesome. They're light.
I like
and
the freshness,
and
the
refreshing.
Fresca.
Fresca?
Well, no, not a Fresca. Fresca
say-
stink. I'm saying the freshness because they're clear.
Fucking grandpa. Yeah, exactly.
They're clear, and when you get one, you go, and you pour it into a glass, you go, hey, this is clear. It's see-through. It didn't feel as syrupy.
It doesn't. It doesn't because it doesn't have the caramel.
Is that it?
A lot of what makes Coke brown like that is caramel. If you look at the ingredients, the ingredients are like the same, except there's fucking caramel and shit.
Right.
For like the coloring and the brownness and the whatever.
All right, if I had to go left and right, would you go 7-Up or Sprite?
I always go Sprite. I think Sprite is a little more lemon limey, where I feel like 7-Up is like it's like lowered on the lemon lime flavor. It's almost more for being a mixer for drinks.
Yes.
So it's like more subtle.
Yeah, it was tippering. It was almost the early version of a seltzer or a tonic water.
Yeah. 7-Up was real subtle.
Yeah, which I think I prefer that more. But
Yeah,
see,
I can
that
see
was
that.
in the year too. I could see where you also, there was a time when you could get lime stuff. There was a point when they started adding a lemon lime. They started intertwining. It's like, who decided that the lemon and the lime had to be mixed?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, but why can't you just have lemonade,
Look.
and limeade?
Here, let me break it to you down into modern day terms here. I go to Wegmans. I get the lemon lime seltzer.
Okay.
It's fucking pretty dope.
Yeah.
But on the weeks when I go to Tops, they just have lemon seltzer.
Ooh, yeah, that's probably like pledge water.
A little bit.
Lemon
And have
Pledge.
you ever had the lime seltzer?
No.
It's,
Yeah.
It's bad. Lime's sort of a flat flavor. It's sort of like a back of the tongue
You're
flavor.
You're right.
But with the two together, you get the bright hello, like squiggy coming in the door with the lemon, and then you get the nice like lime fucking coating in the back. So the two together balance each other out nice.
Yeah.
In the same way that, and I always loved this when I was a kid, like we always go to Dairy Queen. I would get at Dairy Queen either a lemon lime, Mr. Misty, which is like a slush puppy guy, or a chocolate and vanilla twist cone. I love chocolate and vanilla twist because vanilla by itself, it's a bit too much. Yeah. And chocolate by itself, it's a bit too dark. Yeah. But the two together.
Have you? Well, here's where you
dope.
mix in worlds. If you're talking vanilla and lime, you get into the key lime world.
I've never had key lime.
Like a key lime pie?
Yeah,
Or,
I'm not a big pie guy, so.
well, they have a seltzer. Okay, here's the difference. Tina was buying the key lime seltzer from LaCroix.
The La Croix, yeah.
It was had way more body than standard lime.
It was okay, but the part of it that made it the key part, or more like the pie, It was like a sugary vanilla-y tone that was in there. I didn't like that at all.
You didn't like that?
No.
I think it works with the lime.
No, that made me nuts.
It worked. All right.
And there was another La Croix flavor that was so bad that we were like, oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, unlike pamplemousse or whatever that one is. You ever have the pamplemousse?
No, but that sounds about right.
Right, yeah, it stinks. Okay, so here's one you walk by the machine, the RC Fago, or any generic one. You know, you go, okay.
And these are the bad ones.
These are the bad ones.
I mean, granted, yeah. Generally, when you see the Fago, it's kind of like, oh, we're in like
the orange Fago,
world.
half tolerable. But yeah, the Fago, the RC was terrible. Their root beers were terrible. Was Himes or something? Hires. That was it. Hires root beer. Terrible.
Yeah, it was a bit of like the lower tier one.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, that was the higher tier one. Was the Hires
more than A&W root beer?
Hires was like the thing when we were like little kids, like 70s.
Yeah.
And then A&W became dominant in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then it got to Barks.
Barks.
Ooh,
you're right. 90s was Barks. You're right.
Barks with root beer with bite or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It was extreme.
But the A&W was the one where we'd make pour the milk in it and we'd make the cream, or put it on ice cream and we'd make the sodas.
Yeah, the floats. Yeah, the A&W came on real strong in the 80s.
Yeah, the float. Yeah, so they sold that one. Now here's number 3 on the worst list. You're gonna hate this one. I hated this. Overrated. Some people go, I love it to this day. It's coming back. They redid it. Jolt.
Jolt
sucks. That was like cola. Yeah, I mean, yes, it had a lot of extra sugar, had a lot of extra caffeine they said, but it just was sugary to the point of like, you would have, you'd clean off your teeth. It was just like syrup and sugar. And
now I've never had one because the whole point of it, it's too nutty. It's too extreme. Because look, I don't need the extra sugar. Like I've always said, caffeine doesn't do anything to me. I feel no effects from caffeine. I know people are like, oh, drink a cola and it'll give you energy. Nope.
No.
I can drink a Coke and go right the fuck to bed.
Yeah, same with the Mountain Dew. See, I almost put Jolt next to the Mountain Dew because I think Mountain Dew sucks.
It does.
I think it's gross. But Mountain Dew's kind of in the same world as the Surge, not so much Squirt, but it's kind of that green...
Mellow yellow.
Yeah, it's just like this weird nuclear glow of a cola that's just...
Yeah, it's just a weird nondescript citrusy type flavor thing.
Yeah, it's just nuclear citrus. It's...
I mean, I really feel like the only reason people like Mountain Dew is because they were really effective in their advertising campaign in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Because Mountain Dew sucked and nobody fucking drank it at all.
No.
So they employed the advertising campaign that was super effective in the late 70s for Dr. Pepper, which originally Dr. Pepper realized nobody's buying Dr. Pepper. So they ran, if you ever study
feel like a pepper?
Yeah. If you ever study like in logic class, you get into these marketing appeals.
The marketing advertising, yeah.
And so they went with the one that was, be original, drink Dr. Pepper. Nobody else is drinking Dr. Pepper. Be the weird guy that drinks Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Be original.
That
good. Ad campaign was so successful, everybody drank Dr. Pepper. Next thing you know, they switched from be original, drink Dr. Pepper to be a pepper, join in.
Jump on the bandwagon. So Mountain Dew trying the same thing.
Mountain Dew did the same thing. They went, we're extreme, we're X
Yeah, and then they
Games.
tried to, the X Games, they're getting all the skaters and skateboarding was kind of coming into pop culture. And the Olympics and stuff. So they're trying to get all these young kid athletes, that weren't traditional. Yeah.
And so Mountain Dew advertised hard into that. And the fucking kids, they'll do whatever's danced in front of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll go buy that Mountain Dew because you say it's cool. Now Mountain Dew's cool.
So I'm going to split that
now
number 3.
There's a whole generation that thinks Mountain Dew's
number
cool.
3, I got Jolt there, but Jolt is going to go in the same world as Mountain Dew. I'm giving it a thumbs down. It stinks.
Yeah. I don't really like him either.
Here's number 2, getting up there.
It just feels like they're trying too hard. You know?
It is.
It's like, you're just a soda. Settle down. Just be tasty.
And then, now everyone's loving the Mountain Dew that's like blue ice and purple fucking doodly.
I know. Every couple
and
years.
Taco Bell's just sucking their hogs.
Yeah, they come out with a new berry blast.
Yeah, fuck off. Baja blowjob.
Chernobyl color form.
Yeah. Chernobyl. Chernobyl Baja fucking scumbag. Yeah.
Chernobyl fucking chrysanthemum.
So that's gone. Okay, here's number 2. This is the one we're walking by the machine. Mom goes, I'm going to grab a tab. You want one?
Oh, the tabs.
Oh, the tab.
Because isn't tab... Now,
in a pink
this
can.
is a 70s thing. Nobody knows what we're talking about unless you're our age and shit like that.
Yeah.
It used to be out in the 70s.
Women drank it.
It was a Diet Cola, right?
It was a Diet Cola. Yeah, it was before like a Diet Coke or
Right.
Pepsi was out.
Yeah, there
The
was
only
no
thing,
Diet Cola.
It was marketed towards housewives and women. Tab, lose weight, and then they'd have like a, they'd
It was
say
like
less sugar.
Wouldn't they say it was like 1 calorie?
Yeah. I don't remember
It was something
ad-
like 1 calorie, and there was something about it was like it was a cola and it was diet, so it was like 1 calorie, and then they would put like a drop of lemon in it or something.
You'd have to add that on your own, I think.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I just remember the pink can, and
Yep.
then my mom would get bottles of it too, like a 6-pack of bottles. But there's the pink can,
Yeah,
which
yeah. It was like I don't know. I mean, I'm no expert on the 50s or the 60s fucking food, but might have been one of the first diet sodas.
probably, yeah, I would have to say, yeah.
I mean, a diet soda like is almost like Army intelligence, like an oxymoron. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, or was it just marketed towards women housewives, and it had the same amount of gook in it that a Pepsi
No,
would have?
I think that was the whole thing was that it was like low calorie, So instead of like 800 calories, you get. Like,
Was it the beginning? Was it the onset of the aspartame, the fake sugar?
Yeah, the aspartame and the what was the other one back then? The sucralose and
Stevia?
Yeah, well, the stevia is the new one, but yeah.
Yeah, there's something back then. Yeah. Either way, it stunk.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
It was all the fake sugar substitutes.
Oh, that's getting
That
two
was-
thumbs down
that
for
was
number
the
2.
whole thing about those diet fucking sodas. I guess the only way that you can cut those calories is by taking out the sugar and replacing it with the chemical sugar. That's why all those diet drinks have a weird chemical aftertaste.
Well, guess what made number 1?
Diet Pepsi.
Anything diet.
Diet Pepsi.
Diet Cokes, Diet Pepsis, Diet 7-Up, Diet Stinks, Diet, aspartame, sucralose, stevia. You can all take it and shove it.
Yeah, when we first moved to Phoenix, me and my brother, he was on a fucking like a Diet Pepsi fucking jag. He would always get 12 packs of Diet Pepsi. And so often that was like literally the only thing in the place to drink other than water. So
And would you get an aftertaste out of it? Like,
dude, it was so gross.
oh, I hate that
Like
aftertaste.
I drank enough of his stupid Diet Pepsi that it got to the point where it almost started to taste normal. That's sad.
Yeah, I know. I got to watch my sugars, so I don't really add sugar to stuff anymore. But I can tell you that I'm an advocate of if you're gonna do sugar, just do real sugar and a little less of it. I think that fake sugar, man, someday somebody's gonna say aspartame, aspartame, or whatever you want to call it.
Aspartame. You keep saying it weird.
Whatever it's called, aspartame. I call it aspartame.
Like
aspartame.
Spartacus.
Yeah, they're gonna say something's bad with that. That's gonna be some cancer-causing bullshit. I've said it.
No,
I've been saying it since the 90s.
They already did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Aspartame, sucralose, all that shit. It all comes out. It's the greatest thing, and then 5 to 7 years later, it causes cancer. It was the same thing with the stevia. When I was in film school, my cinematography teacher was nuts with the stevia. He was doing La Croix, and then he had this little. He was just getting like the fucking. What did I just say? The stevia, a little eyedropper.
Ew.
So he'd crack a La Croix and then put a couple drops of stevia in it. And he'd be like, it's so tasty. And I'm like, dude, you know that stuff, they're going to come out and say that stuff's bad for you, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, they haven't yet. You know, and I'm like, all right,
I remember my
dude.
parents buying like they'd buy us like Country Time lemonade, but then the parents would get, oh, we're gonna get some Crystal Light, and they would get the little pack, and they'd make their own pitcher of lemonade, and their Crystal Light had that sucralose.
It's worse than that because there's less to cover it up.
Crystal Light stinks.
Yeah, was that the whole thing with the Crystal Light?
Yeah, it was a powder. I don't know.
Oh, because it was like less sugar, wasn't that?
You're right. It was like a weird diety parental thing. It was something that my parents always got was the Crystal Light.
Hey, you kids out there that aren't old enough to remember this sort of shit, you want to go down a fun rabbit hole? Go look up see-through foods and drinks from the fucking like late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, yeah. There was even times that Pepsi and Coke would have like clear Coke.
Crystal
clear,
Pepsi.
Crystal Pepsi. Yeah, there's shit like that floating around. Oh, my God. Yeah, when I went down this rabbit hole.
It was so weird because it tastes just like Pepsi, but it looks like seltzer. It looks like 7-Up.
Yeah.
It was a really weird disconnect. Remember when they started coming out with Nickelodeon was doing weird colored ketchups with Heinz?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I
Slime
could not
ketchup.
get past it. Fucking, I think Philip had like green ketchup. I could not get past it. My brain would not let me taste it correctly. My brain
Really?
kept telling me like, that's awful. It tastes awful.
Yeah, I never
It tasted
tried
different.
them. Wow.
But it was just green, and it fucked with my brain.
See, now that, once again, when I was talking about my food idea, I would go, all right, let's get the 4 flavors of the Heinz Nickelodeon ketchup. Let's try them. And we'd do like, all right, let's get some hot dogs.
They don't taste any different.
Put them on a hot dog, yeah, and see if...
They just look different. What fucks with your head? It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past it. Like my eyes were coloring my flavors.
Well, her and I, when we go for tacos, we get they got the red sauce and the green sauce. Mm-hmm. And we get the El Yucatero. We like the El Yucatero. And we get the green one.
Yeah.
And whenever we get the red ones, we're like, our tacos don't taste the same.
Also,
but literally, if you were to blind taste test them, you can't tell the difference apart.
Well, I mean, it's subtle one, isn't it? Isn't it like the peppers that they're using? Is like the red peppers and the green peppers?
Sure. But the way these are all mashed up into some kind of...
No, yeah, it's sort of like that salsa that you dip the chips in or whatever.
right. Yeah, if you were colorblind and only saw gray, you wouldn't know the difference.
No, yeah, you're right. Because we used to go to this little burrito place in Phoenix. They had a couple, maybe one location called Some Burros.
Yeah.
It's like a little Mexican place, big fat fucking burritos, man. And they would just give you they were just making tortilla chips fresh, they would just give you baskets of them, and so you get the red sauce and the green sauce, and you can sit there and go back and forth, and it's like the differences are so slight. It's just a little bit in the pepper, It's like the red peppers are sort of just like regular pepper, but the green one has this sort of weird other taste in there as well, Yeah.
So. I wonder if colorblind people have a different way of eating, Yeah.
Well, you know what? Speaking of that, remember back in the 80s and shit on TV all the time, they were doing the Pepsi taste test?
Sure.
Where they had people blindfolded.
Yeah.
They had them sip some Coke, and then they had them sip some Pepsi. They do it at malls and shit.
Yeah.
And people were blindfolded, so they can't tell what they're looking at. And they would just be like, A or B, which one do you like best? And the people would go, I like B best. And they go, well, that's Pepsi. And they go, no!
Oh, yeah, right.
They must have done 10,000 of those just to get 3 that worked on.
Oh, I know, yeah. Those people at the mall, the more research people, they would have the clipboard. They would go, hey, we want to go in the back row and try those.
But that was probably one of the most effective fucking advertising ploys was the blind taste test.
Oh, yeah,
that was super common.
The beer companies did it too.
Oh, yeah.
We got to go.
All right.
We're running late. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, what a fun show.
Hit like and subscribe. Tell friends. Watch all the way through. We need to increase our watch time. Definitely hit subscribe. Hit like. Give us a comment. Tell us what's up. Say hey. Don't be a dick, or we'll just fucking ignore you.
Yes. And tell your friends. Adios.